This is question 3, test 5, section 4, page 651. Okay, so it says the bar graph above shows where fraud is committed on the internet. Which of the following circle graphs most accurately depicts the same data? Okay, so I would do this mostly through process of elimination to start. So you can see that you have these two really small sections that are each 2%. So you want to find pie charts with really small sections like that. So if you think of the whole pie as 100, which you should because this is a percent, then 2% is going to be really tiny. So you can get rid of A because those two sections, they are equal, but they're much too big to be 2%. And also compare it to this slice, which is supposed to be 18%. It's really not in proportion with that. Okay, this one looks decent, so we'll keep that. That looks like that could be 2%. C, C does not even have this other category, so therefore it's out because it doesn't include that 2%, which needs to be part of the chart. E is problematic because 18 should be 9 times as large as 2%, and it doesn't look to be that much larger. So you can get rid of that one. And then D also looks pretty good, so that one we should keep in play. So now we just have one last thing to consider. Is the black slice 78% in these leftover pie charts, or does it look like it's not big enough? So one thing to keep in mind is that 75% is going to be 3/4. At least it's going to be a little bit more than 3/4 of the total pie. So that has to be a really big slice. So let's see between B and D if either of those seem like they have a slice that's even bigger than 75%. Okay, so one way to do that would be to draw in some lines here, trying to cut this up. So that looks like it's just a little bit more than 75%, so that one might be right. It looks like it might actually be a little bit less than 75% if you think about it. Let's see how it compares to the other one. Remember, it needs to be 3% more, so it needs to be at least one of these slices more than 75%. And it looks like it might actually be just a little bit less than 75%. Let's compare it to D. Okay, so if we put a line through D, then this is clearly bigger than 75%, which is good. And it looks like it's about that 2% slice larger than 75%. So D is the best option. But I do have to say, I think it's a pretty close call between B and D. It's a little tough to decide. But if you look, the shaded website part of it, which I see now from the book, it's really gray, it's not black. That website segment, that's less than 75%. So therefore we know that it's not 78%, which is what it needs to be. So D is a better choice.